Have you ever been so obsessed with uncovering the truth that you are willing to risk everything, including your freedom? Meet Gary McKinnon, the man who hacked into NASA and the government agency's computer systems in search of evidence of UFOs and other extraterrestrial phenomena. His efforts resulted in the largest military computer hack of all time, and he faced the possibility of extradition and a 60-year prison sentence. Despite the odds against him, Gary's story is a testament to the human drive for discovery and the lengths some will go to uncover the truth. Stick around to hear how Gary's story ends and whether his quest for truth was worth the price he paid. For many years, people have been captivated by unidentified flying objects or UFOs, as well as government efforts to keep information about them hidden. The Roswell incident, the black mailbox, the WOW signal, and the Men in Black are just a few examples of this cultural fascination. Some people have even proposed raiding Area 51 to uncover the truth. However, there is one man who took it upon himself to uncover some of these secrets: Gary McKinnon. He hacked into NASA and other government agencies' computer systems in search of information on UFOs and other extraterrestrial phenomena. His efforts resulted in the largest military computer hack of all time, and he faced the possibility of extradition and a 60-year prison sentence. However, due to his diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome and other legal challenges, McKinnon was not extradited to the US and instead faced no charges in the UK. His story remains a fascinating one for those interested in UFOs and government secrecy. Gary's interest in sci-fi and UFOs was sparked by his stepdad's dream of seeing ships in the sky. He read everything he could about the subject and eventually joined the British UFO Research Association. He hoped that there was an advanced alien civilization waiting for us to find them. Gary dropped out of high school and worked as a freelancer in tech support jobs. But after reading a book by the Disclosure Project, his obsession with finding evidence of UFOs intensified. He became convinced of the geniusness of the over 400 testimonies in the book, including one that claimed NASA regularly airbrushed UFOs out of satellite images. Gary felt that his friends in the UFO Research Association were not proactive enough in finding evidence, so he decided to take matters into his own hands. He began honing his computer skills and eventually hacked into places like Oxford University's network. With his newfound skills and passion for the truth, Gary set out to find evidence of UFOs. He installed a program on his computer to search for other computers with administrator usernames without passwords and eventually managed to hack into some big places. Gary decided to join the big leagues and sat down at his girlfriend's aunt's house to see if he could find evidence of the truth with a joint and a cold drink by his side. Gary was a skilled hacker who managed to break into many systems, including those of the US government and military. He had administrator-level remote access to high-level computers, which allowed him to tap into NASA's servers. After some effort, he found folders labeled filtered and unfiltered, containing very high-resolution images. He saw a silver oblong object with spheres on each side of it that had no seams or rivets holding it together. It was not man-made and resembled the famous Tic Tacs associated with UFO sightings. However, he was quickly disconnected before he could explore more. Despite not getting what he wanted, Gary was addicted to snooping around NASA's computers, smoking weed, and disrupting scientists. He spent most nights for the next 7 years in this manner. Eventually, he stumbled upon Excel spreadsheets labeled non-terrestrial officers containing names and ranks of US Air Force personnel who were not registered anywhere. He also found information about top-secret officials and vessels involved in Black Ops operations. However, he was so high that he doesn't remember any of the names. Gary also enjoyed trolling and leaving messages on people's screens in the form of text files. He felt that their security was crap, and he was solo. Whenever he carried out a network status command, he found that hackers from all over the world were connected to the machines with him, and though he never interacted with any of them. To this day, he has no idea who they were. Gary initially started hacking into the US government as a way to search for UFOs, but it quickly became an addiction. He found a thrill in breaking through increasingly complex security measures, and it became almost like a game to him. One day, he hacked into a Pentagon-funded research agency and found evidence of a robot soldier that could perform dangerous tasks without using real people. he also discovered some cringeworthy Special Forces training videos. Hacking had taken over Gary's life to the point where he quit his job and his girlfriend broke up with him. Despite this, he continued to live with his ex-girlfriend in their aunt's house, where he spent his time hacking and reading up on court-martialed reports from military bases. In 2002, Gary was arrested along with his ex-girlfriend after his program was traced back to his email address. Initially, Gary was relieved to learn that he would only receive 6 months of community service under the Computer Misuse Act. However, the US government later accused him of hacking into 97 military and NASA computers and causing $700,000 worth of damage. They offered him clemency if he covered the cost of extradition and agreed to a 3 to 4 year sentence, but Gary declined, wanting his day in court. Despite the advice from his lawyer, Gary made a counteroffer, sensing shenanigans. The situation had gotten out of hand, and Gary's addiction to hacking had serious consequences. In 2008, after an ITV interview, a woman with Asperger's and several mental health professionals informed Gary's lawyers of their suspicion that Gary might have Asperger's. Despite going through a difficult time, Gary reluctantly underwent a 3-hour examination with top psychiatrists and received a diagnosis confirming that he had Asperger's. This diagnosis explained his obsessive tendencies, naivete, and fear of public transport that stemmed from childhood. The diagnosis brought about significant support for Gary, including a massive Free Gary campaign and a song featuring Gary himself written by David Gilmour, Chrissy Hind, and Bob Geldof. However, the Department of Justice showed no concern and continued with their extradition efforts, leading to Gary losing appeal after appeal to various courts. The toll of ordeal took a heavy emotional toll on Gary and his loved ones over the next 4 years, leaving him in a very dark place. But during his lowest point, an unexpected hero emerged onto the scene, offering hope. Theresa May, who was serving as Home Secretary at the time, exercised her authority and stopped Gary from being extradited on October 16, 2012. May stated that extraditing Gary would be a violation of his human rights, owing to the fact that he suffers from Asperger's syndrome and severe depression, which would enhance the likelihood of him taking his own life. Because of that decision, Gary's nightmare that had lasted for 10 years came to an end, and in December of that year, it was revealed that Gary would not be prosecuted in the UK, and the accusations that had been made against him were dismissed. Gary had been let free at long last. However, the fact that Gary came out of the ordeal relatively undamaged, while having been subjected to a great deal of stress, raises a number of questions. Some individuals are aware of the methods in which governments employ the abilities of arrested hackers, such as providing them with the option of serving a lengthy term or working for them after their release from custody. It is not known whether Gary was presented with such an opportunity because intelligence organizations frequently try to hire computer hackers rather than prosecute them. Despite the extradition warrant, Gary is free to use computers and pursue his profession, although he cannot leave the UK. He established Small SEO, a company that assists small businesses in optimizing their search engine rankings and increasing their web traffic. In 2014, after everything he went through, it's reassuring to know that he is doing well for himself now. Gary McKinnon's story is a captivating one full of twists and turns, and it raises many questions about government secrecy, hacking, and the search for truth. Despite the risks he faced, Gary pursued his passion for uncovering the unknown and stood up for his right to a fair trial. His story serves as a reminder that the pursuit of truth can sometimes come at a great cost, but it is a necessary and worthwhile endeavor. We hope that this video has shed some light on the life of the world's most dangerous hacker, and we encourage you to continue exploring the world of hacking and government secrecy. Who knows? You might just uncover something that changes the world as we know it. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating content.